It's okay.
Okay, so we are live now. Hello, everyone.
Great.
Welcome to day two. So today I'm very excited because we have Mrs. Quantem. By the way, let me just even start by saying how excited I am of having you. So when I heard that you will be joining us, I was so excited. When you said, "Oh, my schedule will not allow me. I have so much." I felt so down. Like this woman must be in my show. She must come. Thank you so much. I feel really honored. I feel really privileged. Guys, let's welcome Mrs. Patel.
Thank
Hi,
you for
Ma. Please,
having
can
me.
you go
It's a
ahead
pleasure
and
to be here.
introduce yourself to my audience?
Pardon?
I think can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Kwatam Akonde. I'm a lawyer, women's rights advocate. I've worked in the development sector for a while, working on women's rights. And yeah, I've been working in the area of GBV. So it's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad and excited.
Thank you so much. So yes, let's just slowly just enter into the conversation because I believe that law, just our justice system is very key when we talk about gender-based violence and just women rights in general, right? So as a GBV advocate, a woman's empowerment advocate, right? Can you just like break down what are the laws in Nigeria that actually, stops gender-based violence, or do we even have any law against these things?
Okay, yeah, okay, we have laws. Um, we do have laws that address gender-based violence from the international level. We have at the regional level. When I say regional, I mean Africa. Then we have at the national level, and then states have their laws. We have laws that address GBV. Let me start from the international level. Some may say, "Oh, why am I starting from international level?" I want to start with that because these laws may not directly have enforceability in Nigeria, but they are very persuasive. So, like, there's a law that Nigeria was a signatory to in sometime in the 80s. That's the Convention for Elimination of all forms of violence against women. That's the CEDAW. It's like a major legislation for women. That was the first time the world came together and said, you know what, we've had enough of violence. We've had enough of discrimination against women, and we are going to come up with a convention that addresses this. And they came up with that convention to address this, all forms of discrimination against women. So that when Nigeria became a signatory to CEDAW, let me lay a foundation. Nigeria is a dualist state. In international law, when they say the state is a dualist state, it means that when they go out there and sign international laws, it doesn't translate to our laws automatically. It has to go through the National Assembly before it can be adopted um, in our own laws. So Nigeria likes to go to the international fora and just, sign laws, sign conventions. But when it comes to domesticating it to our own, laws, translating it into our laws, they just somehow don't do it. So we've signed CEDAW since the 80s, but till today we have, some aspects of CEDAW have been adopted into our laws. We've, come up with some laws like the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act is like an offshoot of what do you call it, of CEDAW. But the whole of CEDAW has not been implemented in Nigeria yet. But I needed to lay that foundation for you to know that, yeah, we have these things that we have signed, and some aspects of it are being used, but we are yet to explore other aspects. So that the CEDAW, then coming to the regional level, we have the Maputo Protocol. That is a law for women, at the regional level. That is the African Union. That was a law um, that specifically made for women. So the Maputo Protocol is special to me personally because it addresses some of the issues that are peculiar to Africa, like harmful practices such as female genital mutilation and widowhood practices. Some of these things were not addressed in CEDAW because, there are things that are peculiar to Africa that, other people do not understand. But the Maputo Protocol actually dealt with those issues. And so at the regional level, we have the Maputo Protocol, which is a special legislation to address discrimination against women, which includes violence against women. Then let me move to the national level. At the national level, we have a very, very good. When you asked if we had laws, I smiled because anytime I talk about the Violence Against Persons Vision Act, I smile because it's one legislation that makes a lot of sense and carries a lot of weight. It took about 10 years to get it passed because the National Assembly kicked it out the first time. We had to wait for fresh members to come in before we put it back again for them to pass it into law. And eventually into law 10 years ago. And it's a very important legislation because it's specific. It expands the definition of rape. Initially, the definition of rape was not narrow. It was just basically what do you call it, penis, vagina, and that was it. But it expanded the definition of rape to include objects being put into the mouth, being put into the vagina, and all that. So yeah, it expanded the definition of rape. Initially, rape was only, it was only a man that could rape. The definition, the penal and criminal code that we've had for eons of years. But when this law came, it's expanded it to include. It didn't state any gender, so a woman could be sued for rape pursuant to Section 1 of the VAP Act. So that's an important aspect of the VAP Act I like to emphasize. Then it stated some forms of violence that initially were not in our laws, like emotional and psychological violence, financial violence, financial abuse, verbal abuse. So these forms of abuse are clearly stated in the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. And most states have adopted it. Just barely two states that haven't adopted it. Lagos is one of the states. One of the reasons Lagos didn't adopt the
Lagos
VAP
has not
Act
adopted
is,
it.
Lagos likes to be ahead. No, not yet. But they have a criminal law of Lagos State that has basically most of the things the VAP Act has. So they feel, why would they adopt the VAP Act? Because they like to be ahead. So yeah, Lagos has not adopted it yet, but while we're working towards it, we're hoping they adopt it in the nearest future. So most states, like one state I like to brag about is Ekiti State. If you see the number of convictions we've been getting, from Ekiti State because of the VAP law. Yeah, they've been able to convict a lot of, especially sexual offenders. Now they have a sexual offenders register that you know that a lot of offenders have been listed on. So I like to brag about Ekiti State and a couple of other states that have been doing well in that regard. So we have laws, oh, my sister, we have laws. But as it is with every facet in this country, there's corruption that affects things. They don't move as fast as they should. But we've been beating the system, we've been trying. Like Lagos has a lot of convictions as well. And Lagos has a specialized agency that addresses violence, domestic violence, or violence against women. It's called the DSVA. I don't know if you've heard of it. So it's
Yes, I
Lagos, like the
have.
only state that has, yeah, Lagos, the only state that has a specialized agency that deals with domestic violence, in that sense, gender-based violence. So yeah, what else? Another aspect of of our laws I like to talk about is what do you call it? Yeah, even the penal code and the criminal code that have been there for ages. also have some provisions that address, violence against women, but no law is as explicit as this VAP law. That's why I spoke about it first, because this VAP law is a single law that contains everything we need. It even has protection orders. In America, it's called restraining orders. So we have that in the VAP law. It's in the VAP Act. It addresses protection. It addresses protection orders, has protection victims. Survivors protection. So if someone is stalking you, or you need protection against a perpetrator, maybe you live with the perpetrator, or the perpetrator always comes to your um, environment to come and harass you, you could explore the protection order for the courts to make an order restraining that person from harassing you or coming around your vicinity or environment. So we have laws. We have laws. I hope I've answered your question. Hello, Mary.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh,
Hello, are you there?
yes, can you hear me?
I've been trying to. I've been talking, but you,
Oh, really? I could
you're
not hear
not
you.
there.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. All right. Um,
Mm, yeah.
okay, so I was saying that it is very interesting because you said a lot of things that are very interesting. I mean, laws that I have never heard before. So I was asking, what is the problem? Is it that the agencies in charge of these things are not creating so much awareness? Because I can bet with you that a lot of Nigerians, we don't know about these things. We are not aware.
Um, I would agree that most people are aware that this law exists. That may be due to sensitization. I think more sensitization should be done by NAPTIP is the agency that's tasked with implementing the FAP Act at the federal level. So I feel NAPTIP needs to do more in sensitizing the public about this laws because, yeah, it's a very good law. I've told you about Ekiti State and how they've been using it so well, and lots of people have been prosecuted under the law and convicted. They're serving term in jail. So the law is working, the law works, but there are systemic challenges, bottlenecks, and here and there. But we've been able to get past it to do what we need to do, and it's working. We just need survivors to trust the system and just come forward and let's take it up. There are currently a number of what do you call it? A number of defilement cases I'm handling in Lagos State, and we're forging ahead. It has gone to trial, and we're sure of getting conviction because there's strong evidence. And you know what? One of the things that's helping us get evidence is we now have sexual assault referral centers in all states in the federation. So we have a list of they are called sexual assault referral centers. They are in every state. So once there's the sexual abuse, the person goes to these sexual assault referral centers. They get evidence immediately, and it helps prosecution because nothing beats evidence. Courts don't work with emotion. Courts don't work with what do you call it? Don't work with sentiments. They work with facts. They work with evidence. So when you present this evidence before them, you're sure to get conviction. So I agree the system is flawed, but to be honest, we are still working with what we have. Hello,
You
Mary.
said so. Yes, I can hear you. You said so many things that are
Yeah.
really, really interesting. First one is we have the law works, right? And court does not move with emotion, we move with evidence, right? So I will keep that
Mhm.
aside and we'll come to it and talk about it more. Um, so when you were talking about the law, you were talking about different types of violence. So would you say this law, apart from physical violence, would you say the laws that we have currently, right, is covers every type of violence, so the financial abuse, emotional abuse, and the rest?
Yes, like I said earlier, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act makes provision for financial violence and psychological violence, verbal abuse. So you can see that it covers areas except for this recent trend, which is technology facilitated gender-based violence. I would agree we do not have sufficient laws in that area. And the reason is that, this is like a new emerging area to to us. So there are laws, there's a cyber crimes law that, addresses some of the offenses, in that regard. But I think we still need to maybe review our law or get a special legislation for technology facilitated gender-based violence. But the Cyber Crimes Act 2015 addresses cyberbullying, cyber stalking, revenge porn, and child porn. So these are basically some of the areas it has covered. So we need better laws. There are other aspects of TFGV, like what do you call it, like deep fake. People use people's faces to do deep fake porn, and it looks so real. You think it's the actual person. So we need laws, strong legislation in that area. Then another aspect, we also doxing. You can there are laws that you can charge people with for doxing, but That's our data privacy law, but we need a law that directly addresses um, such
Mhm.
things. So, yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and I think that the UN women were like they were really on point when they decided to um, make DPS team unite to end digital violence, because you see that right now a lot is happening, right? A lot. We have things like online
Mm.
harassment, talking, non-consensual sharing of images, and whatnot. And it's really scary because you don't even know what is happening. You put on your
Yeah.
phone, you are pressing. Sometimes even
Yeah.
I'm on my phone, I'm in my bedroom. I have to like very you feel so unsafe with everything that is going on. And so, yes, I think it is very important that we have like better laws. So you
Mm.
talked about we don't have these laws very we don't have them implemented, or we need to check them. But are there any like any loophole we need to know of? So, for instance, if I feel like somebody is stalking me online, right? What law protects me of this? Who do I talk to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Section 24 of the Cyber Crimes Act actually directly addresses cyber stalking and cyberbullying. And all our police stations have cyber crimes units. I've actually referred people to these units and have followed up, and we have been able to apprehend these perpetrators a number of times. So it's not something that I'm just saying because I want to say it. It's something
Mm,
that I have actually done for, yes, a number of people. So I have
mhm,
had people come to me and say, "Oh, this is what is happening." There was one that recently happened. She said the guy just started posting pictures, her pictures online, and saying that they were an item. And she just knows the guy casually, and she felt it was very it started affecting her psychologically and all that. She didn't like what was going on. When she met me, we took it up and he was apprehended. So the
yeah,
truth is, these things are there. It is one thing to know it for it to exist. It exists. It is one thing for you to take advantage of it. You may just assume it's
mhm,
not there because you've never explored it. But I assure you, if any cyber stalking or cyber bullying case comes to me now, I will take it up and we will get to the end of the matter. So it's something I've been doing. It's something even recently. There's an app. It's called Kuram. It's by
mm.
an NGO named TechHa.
Can,
Kuram is
can you spell
specifically for
Quran,
technology
please?
facilitated gender-based violence. So they have a network of lawyers across the country that take up these cases and they follow it through. Yeah, it's called Kuram. I don't know if you've heard of Kuram.
No, no, no. Please,
I
can you
can
spell
share
it so that
the
I can look it up?
link with you so that you can share with people
Okay.
that are going to. Pardon? I didn't get you.
I said, can you Quran so that I can put it
Did you
up
say
on the
something?
screen? So when you watch this video, it's easy.
Okay, so I was saying that Quran is there, like places I can't reach, like people come.
Mm. I think I had network right off. Let's give her a few. Uh-oh. Ah, network. Let's give her a few minutes to join back. Wow. It's so interesting. So many laws that we are not aware of. My goodness. Wow. Okay, she'll come up soon. She just messaged me now. She's having really poor network. Apparently, it's raining in Lagos, so the network is really bad. Let's exercise some patience, and she will join us right back. Okay. I think she's back. Let me just put her up. Hi, Mrs. Patton. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me? Hmm. Oh, okay. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, she has gone off. I think her network is really terrible. Oh my goodness. This is like one of the most interesting conversation, and I really, really want them to go so well. So we can really hear what laws we actually have in place so that we know these things to be safe, because I mean violence is one of the most um common things, like digital violence and every form of violence is one of the most common assaults that women go through. So I hope she can join us. And oh my, okay. So we just have to wait for her. She's trying to, change her location. Let's see if it's going to be better. Um, let's see. It's for her. Um, okay. Um, So she's trying to change her location to see if that's she's going to get to a better location. I think it's really really difficult to do things like this in Nigeria. We have so many factors that are affecting us. First of all, we have uh, PHCN. If you don't know what that is, that's Nepal. That's the one barrier. Then we have the network issues. It's always a lot. But I'm just really grateful for everybody that has joined me so far. Really, really great people just coming in to, share their thoughts. And that's what change is about, really. My small voice can cause a change. I think Mrs. Phantom is back. Let's bring that up. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Mrs. Phantom. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now? Mm, Can you hear me now? Hello. Mm, okay. Oh, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, so I'm back.
Okay. Sorry for the network issue. It can be
I
quite
have barely
frustrating.
10 minutes. I have 10 minutes now. I need to go back to my this thing. So I don't know what we can do in 10 minutes before I go
Okay,
back.
yes, we wrap up in 10 minutes. So I think that the most important question is we know that laws are in place. You've told us about the laws, which is quite like really interesting. I might
Mm,
come to your team later when you're less busy, so you can just quickly write them out for me and I can just put it up so my community know about these things, right? So that
yeah.
is that is one. Then I think the next one is to talk about what does reporting look like. Like we know about the law, but we also know that Nigeria can just be a very interesting place, right? So when you walk into a police station, for instance, how do we report? How do we say, oh, this person is either stalking me online, or this is something that's happening, or even my partner is, hitting me. My partner is abusing me in this way or that way. How do we complain about these things? Because I feel like um I'm so sorry, guys, but I feel like the Nigerian police sometimes do not take this thing seriously, and they just brush it off. Uh, Go and settle with your husband. It's not a big deal.
Mm,
And even the
mm,
stigma, right, of just coming outside
mm.
society. Okay, so her husband they beat her. Do you know all those things like that? What does it look like in normal, like in a normal day? How do we report these things and ensure that we are taken seriously?
Okay, I would not come here to lie that our system is not flawed. I've said it before that, we have some barriers here and there, but um, where you also report and how you go about it also matters. Like
Hmm.
many times, I would rather refer, like if someone calls me from, because I'm in Lagos, so if someone comes to me from outside Lagos, if I want to refer that person, I refer them to Kuram because I know that the person that runs TechHa is
Hmm.
a serious lawyers that will follow up and to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, serious lawyers. So yeah, I don't usually tell victims to, survivors to go to the police station straight up. But if I have to, I tell them to look for the gender desk. Like I referred people to gender desks in police stations, and their matters were taken up because desk officers are officers that are trained to understand these things. Like in Lagos, I know that they're giving capacity building several times, on these issues. So you cannot go to a gender desk is happening and they tell you, oh, it's a domestic. No, 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 they won't do that. They are trained to handle these matters and they would not be unprofessional like that. So, like I said, where you go to and who you report to matters. If you just go to a random officer, they would the random officer that is just by the
A
front.
random
When you go to
officer
the police
that
station,
is just by
just
the
ask
front. When you go
for
to the police station, just ask for
ask for a police for a
ask
gen for the
for a
gender
police for the gen
because these are officers that are trained to
because
handle
these are
such
officers
issues.
that are trained to handle such issues.
Like if it's in Lagos,
Sorry,
I'll
what did
tell
you
you
call
straight
them?
go to
Ask for who?
gender desk. Ask for the gender desk.
Ask for the gender desk. Okay, gender
They have
desk.
gender desks in police
They have
stations,
gender
yes.
desks in police stations, yes.
Gender officer, officer in charge
Gender
of gender.
officer in charge of gender. Hmm.
So if you go to that
So
officer, they're not
if you
going to
go to that
discuss
officer, they're not going
whatever
to discuss whatever
complaints you have.
you have.
Unlike some random police officer on the street tell you to go and settle with your husband, like the one that happened recently in Anambra. This her her cousin or was it uncle was dating her for about 10 years. He eventually was able to break free and got to a police station to report. And I just read it on Twitter. It's a trending thing. They now
Wow.
called the man, informed her family, and said they should settle out of court. They told her
Wow.
to bring him, and they told him to go for deliverance or something. Can you imagine that? Do you know he eventually killed this girl?
Jeez. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
she was murdered. She was murdered by this man.
Oh my goodness.
It's a recent case in Anambra. So, you know, um, our law enforcement agents really want to be desired, but we also need to sensitize people that you don't go to every random officer on the streets because a lot of them are not trained. So when you get to the police station, you ask for a gender officer or the gender desk and you lay your complaint. And if you see that they are not, you look for the nearest CSO or NGO, or any community or community based for people living in rural or community rural communities. You look for community based organization and report to. It's better than going to the police directly because I know that once some of these organizations see, once these people see that these organizations are handling a matter, they treat it with more seriousness. So that's basically reporting. You go, they take when you go, you have to write a statement. Ensure you also have a copy of your statement. Insist on getting a copy of whatever you're writing there. Then after you lay
Mm.
your complaint, the officer will pick it up from there. The investigative officer. So you have to investigate before apprehending the person, the what do you call it, the defendant or the respondent or whoever the other party is. So that's basically it for reporting. Hello, Mary, can you hear me? Hello, Mary.
Mm. So, Mrs. Quatam, I know that you are pressed for time, and
Yeah, exactly.
I know that this was
That's what we
like a
didn't
big
even allow
sacrifice.
us,
I know this was a really
it's
big
like what
sacrifice for me, and I really, really appreciate you for coming in. I think that uh, you've opened my eyes to a lot of things because, to be honest, I would not even know that the agenda, police, and all those things. Just normal run to a police station and just say things like this, and over again we've seen that they don't have the capacity to really take on cases like this. So now we know when we go to a police station, we are not just talking to any random policeman. or policewoman. We are looking for the ones that have been trained on matters like this,
Yeah,
and we're saying, oh, I want to
gender
speak
desk.
to um,
Mm,
a police person in charge of.
gender.
Yes, please go ahead. You were saying.
No, I was saying, yeah, the gender desk.
Yes, so going to the
Mm.
gender desk, right? And you talked about Quatam. You also mentioned another organization that I did not catch.
I said, check her. That's the Kuram app. The Kuram is an app that you
Okay,
just go and report any case of technology facilitated gender-based violence. You just go in, type in your name, your location, and all that. The they will respond to you. They will assign a legal
okay.
officer to you to give you legal support and whatever support you may need at that time.
Okay, so for everybody that's watching, we apologize for the technical issues. This was a session that we really, really wanted to do, and we really wanted to do it well. But with the whole internet connection, if you're also wondering why I'm not live, it's because I mean, NEPA decided to be NEPA, right? Well, anyways, I'm sure we learned one or two, right? So beyond what is happening, beyond the technical issues and everything, let's take what we are here for, which is the knowledge that Mrs. Kwatab has dropped. Um, Guys, please follow Mrs. Kwatab and thank her for me, right? She's follow her on Instagram. She's at Talk to KC, right? Mrs. Kwatab, what other platforms are you on? Can you share?
Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I'm on
Okay.
Twitter at Patamask Us.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook. Facebook, my name is Kwata Maman Akonde on Facebook.
Okay, so I would share her social media links, and so if you want to reach out to her, if you have any issues regarding this and you want to reach out to her, I would be sharing her contact details, that her social media platforms on my page, my Instagram page, which is at Becoming Mary, right? So if you're not following me, please do so. I will share clips of these conversations, and there you can just get the full video on YouTube. I would also be sharing check um, the platform she mentioned. I will also be
Kuram
sharing
app. Kuram,
Kuram.
yeah. Kuram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also be sharing Kuram, so we can go check it out because this is really, really important. That we have things like that, so it's very quick and easy if we have issues like this or we're in issues like this. So, Mrs. Quatam, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Um,
me. Mhm. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It was a pleasure speaking to you, Ma. I would keep in touch.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.